our show, TAGtainment. I hope you're going to have a wonderful time watching us and staying with us for the next hour because we have a ton of cool stuff for you. We have informative stuff, we have stuff that's going to help you stay fit, and things that will just help you become more energized, entertained, and feel good. And for all of this, what you have to do is stay with us at our show called TAGtainment Zindagi Rangon Ki. I'm your host, Hira Fatima, and today I have with me...
Hello everyone, my name is Maryam Fatima, and I would like to welcome you all at TAGtainment Zindagi Rangon Ki. In this show, we'll give you informative stuff. We'll also have guest speakers coming in who are going to give you some educational tips. They'll do some techniques with you, and if it's something, going with an example would be of yoga, so they will show you some techniques of yoga. So the reason why I said yoga is because at the end of the show we will be having a guest speaker who's going to come here and will show you some yoga techniques, but for that you have to keep watching our show.
Of course, you have to keep watching. We have a lot of things that we're going to show you, and I just wanted to go over the format of the program. So every time in every episode we're going to have different segments, so it's not that we're going to do this the yoga segment in every program. No, we're going to bring in all these different kinds of things that you can do while you're at home with minimal or almost no cost added to your budget. You'll be able to do all these things. For instance, today we're going to talk about cucumbers, so you have to stay with us for that. Of course, you're gonna learn about cucumbers and some really good health benefits and things you can do at home by using really just a cucumber that normally costs $1, and it can give you awesome results. So that's just to give you a little bit of a teaser. We're gonna have funny videos, we're gonna have songs, we're gonna have a lot of fun during the show. So why don't we start off with our first show, Maryam?
Okay, so before I go to the first song that we're gonna show you, I just want to let you know that this show is to promote our Canadian talent. This show is to promote and tell everything that people do in Canada. So also if you're sitting at home and you want to learn more stuff about financial matters, art, home decor, if there's fitness involved, there's makeup. We're gonna have shows on makeup, health, beauty. So it's not just only for fitness, it's for everything that you can imagine. Entertainment, movies, you name it, we have it.
Of course, you name it, we have it, and you have to connect with us. And the way you will connect with us is through social media, direct contact. Our information is going to be available on the screen for you. We're going to have a Facebook page where you can go and connect with us, and Instagram is also one of the big things. You'll be able to connect with us over there on Twitter. So stay connected with us. Let us know what you want to see more of, and we will be more than happy to bring that for you on our show because it's really your show.
Welcome back to your favorite show, TAGtainment Zindagi Rangon Ki. Now we're going to talk about something very green, something environment friendly, a vegetable that I'm pretty sure you have it in your fridge, in your refrigerator, you have stock up with it, you use it for your salad, and it's such an amazing vegetable, if you want me to say it, because it tastes good, and you know what, why don't you start with Hira, and let's see.
Of course, I will tell you all about the cucumbers. I know summer's coming, and with the sunburn, and a lot of the things that happen to our skin because of the sun, you'd be surprised that cucumbers are beautiful. And because they're beautiful, they also are beautiful for your skin, and they help you.
That's very true. It nourishes your skin out. It's a good nutrient.
Of course. So I'm going to tell you a lot about cucumbers and the benefits. But before that, how about I get into the types of cucumbers? You know, when we go shopping, have you ever noticed there's like all these different types, and maybe some of us know what the names are.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you teach us about those different types?
So the first one is Armenian. This is a type of cucumber that are long and thin, and they're slightly darker. They have a varied shade, so sometimes they're dark and sometimes they're light. And the good thing is that these are very crunchy, very easy to eat, no problem. But the not so good part is that they're not good for pickling. So if somebody wanted to buy cucumbers and wanted to pickle them at home, these cucumbers would not be a good fit for that. The second type is English cucumbers. So English cucumbers are long, thin, and they're normally wrapped in plastic. So you know when you go and you buy cucumbers,
The
and they're
grocery
wrapped,
ones,
and
yeah.
the ones that are wrapped in plastic, they're called English cucumbers.
Yeah, they're very long. I've seen them. Yeah.
I know. So
Yeah.
that's the way they are, and they're just they're really good for eating raw, but obviously not so good for pickling.
For sure,
That's
yeah.
just not their strength, I guess. Then another type is garden cucumbers. So these are the cucumbers that have a smooth skin. So you know how some cucumbers have a wrinkly skin and some have a smooth.
Is
So
it the very fat ones that you see
Yeah,
separate
they're
by
the big fat
themselves, and they're
ones.
pretty expensive?
Well, I'm not sure about the expensive part, but yes. So these are the ones that are the ones that have smooth skin. They're the ones that are called garden cucumbers. And the thing with these ones is that they're often waxed, and the reason they're waxed is so that the moisture can retain inside. So the cucumbers get a spray of wax on them so that the moisture can stay in. And when you buy and eat them, you kind of have to peel the skin. If you don't peel the skin, you're really just eating the wax with it. And sometimes it could be too much depending on how commercially produced.
So it's not even safe. Sometimes it might not be safe as well. then.
Exactly. So it's just better to really rinse things off and then.
Yeah, this is also one good tip, that you should always make sure you rinse all your vegetables before eating them, because sometimes you don't know how many people are touching it.
Of course. And now the third type is Kirby cucumbers. And these are the ones that are used for pickling. So they're wrinkly and they're usually short and bumpy the way they are. So their purpose is really just for pickling. That's what they are. And then there's another type called lemon cucumbers. And believe it or not, lemon cucumbers really look like lemons. If you were to look at a picture, you'd probably get confused thinking, are these cucumbers or lemons? But there is that one kind as well, and they look really good in salads. Obviously not good for pickling because of their different type. And then the last one I have is Persian cucumbers. So Persian cucumbers are very similar to English cucumbers, and they're not really wrapped in plastic, except they come in a greater range of length. So sometimes it's not a uniform length you'll get. Sometimes you'll find some that are really short, and sometimes you'll find some that are really long. So
is it the type that comes in like a little tray and then it has saran wrap on it and they're very small?
actually, I'm not sure. It could be either or that I cannot answer, but like.
We have so many different types that we can't even count
but
right now.
generally, these are the names that people call, and I think from reading this, I can now say that the ones I buy are English cucumbers because I buy the ones that are wrapped in plastic.
Okay, I think that's the same one that I buy.
And you know what?
Okay.
I think they're wrapped in plastic also because so that the moisture can retain inside and they can stay hydrated.
Exactly.
So those were the types of cucumbers. Now you probably know what they are called.
Yes.
And we know that Kirby ones are the ones that are most popular for pickling.
Okay, so why don't we actually tell you something, a good tip about cucumber. So all you have to do is you need only coconut milk. You can find it at your house or the nearest grocery store from your house, and then take the cucumber, make it into thin slices. So you have little slices, and then soak it in the coconut milk for overnight, or you can do it for maybe 15 minutes, depending on how long you want it to be soaked in the milk. And you can put it in the fridge as well. The reason why I'm saying that is the more cold it is, the better the results you're going to get after.
Oh, okay.
So all you have to do is take those soaked coconut milk cucumber slices and make them go around your face. And this is a very good tip because it takes your tan away. So if you're going in the sun, this is the summertime, you're in the sun out right now, and the sun is sometimes you forget to put sunscreen on, but even then you will always get sunburn. So take the cucumber slice, which is soaked in coconut milk, make it go around, all over your face, and it's your choice to either rinse it with water or with your cream or your wash. But why I would say that don't rinse it with the wash is because you want the coconut milk to stay on your face. The longer it is there, and the hydrated you're gonna get.
You know what? That's a good idea. I think it's better to not use your face wash and just rinse it off with water. Let it sit there because the coconut milk really acts as a moisturizer after. So you don't want to wash that off your skin after you've spent all that time working your face. And just to go with that, I'm going to quickly go over some benefits of cucumbers because believe it or not, there are a lot of health benefits, and if you regularly use cucumbers in your diet, you're going to be one of the healthiest persons, healthiest people on the face of this earth, really. So why don't I start off? Number one, it keeps you hydrated. 95% of cucumber is really water, and it's good water. It has all these vitamins, minerals, and these I can't remember exactly, magnesium, silicon, and like all these things.
All these chemical stuff.
Yeah, nutrients in
Nutrients in it.
that I really cannot recall on top of my head. But stuff that's really good for your nails, stuff that's really good for your hair, and for your skin. These three things. It's going to help a lot. And to go with your tip, I'll just say one more, which is if you use cucumber puree, so just maybe mash the cucumber and use it with some honey, mix it up and rub it on your face. Rub it on your face for a few minutes and let it sit there, and then just rinse it off. It's going to take off your sunburn if you had a sunburn.
Oh,
so that's another thing you can do. And with that, because of the kind of nutrients that the cucumbers have, it will also help make your skin glow. So just generally, all you really need to do is take cucumbers and rub them on your skin. You'll get the benefits, and if you want added benefits, you can add other things to it.
And you can always have little slices of them, and when you rub it, it's actually very good, because then you can use it after for eating as well. So we don't want you to waste your cucumber, because yeah.
And it also fights the heat. So if you're out on a sunny day, eat a cucumber. It's going to keep you hydrated. It's going to keep you fresh. It's going to kill your body heat. Some people get pimples on their faces because they have a lot of body heat. Eat a lot of cucumbers. You'll feel much better after. And another thing I want to say before we go out, it's about bad breath. If somebody is having issues with that, then you take a slice of cucumber and you rub it against the roof of your mouth and let it with your tongue and let it sit there for a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds, a minute. Let it sit there, and after it's done, you can just chew on it. That will kill the bacteria in your mouth that causes bad breath. So that's another thing. And because when you eat it, it also goes down in your stomach, and it kills the body heat and the stuff that kind of upsets your stomach, and then it travels to your mouth as bad breath. So all of that is taken care of if you regularly eat cucumbers in your diet.
And one more thing that I want to mention with this, one of the benefits is because you know how they say that all green things are natural and they come from nature, right? So starting with, you know, if I say lettuce, cucumber, they're all green, and they don't have a lot of calories in it, and at the same time they help you nourish your face, right? So it's always good to eat something that's healthy, and at the same time that can help you look beautiful.
Of course. And before we go, just one last, and this is for our viewers who suffer from diabetes. If that's the case, then include cucumber in your diet, because it has this agent that helps produce insulin. So if you eat a lot of cucumber, it's going to help with the insulin production. And also it's very good for your kidney, and it acts as it acts as a washing agent. It just washes and cleans your body.
Cleanses your body, basically.
It really cleanses your body. So try using cucumbers more, because summer is coming up and you really want to stay hydrated and look all glowy.
So that was a lot about cucumber. Thanks, Hira, for sharing more information with it.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So now how about we go and listen to a song. This song actually came in the movie called Gabbar is Back. This song is starring Kareena Kapoor and Akshay Kumar. Akshay Kumar, who doesn't know Akshay Kumar, right? So why don't we go on the song? The song is called Meri Kahani, Teri Meri Kahani actually, and it's sung by Arjit Singh and Palak Manchal. So why don't we go ahead and listen to the song where Akshay Kumar is dancing with Kareena Kapoor in the rain.
तुमसे ये जो भी हरकत हुई है मोहब्बत 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 हुई है
कुछ जितने हैं हम तुम कमी कुछ नहीं है जितना भी जीना है तुझको ही जीना है जीते रहे जिस तरह
शाम और सुबह तू मेरा तेरे बिना क्या मेरा दो जिस्म जा एक है ना होना कभी तू जुदा तेरी मेरी कहानी है बारिशों का पानी बनके जो इश्क बरसे तेरी मेरी कहानी
Welcome back, viewers. Welcome to our segment Stay Fit. We're here to teach you all the things you need to know to stay fit just while staying at home. And to begin with our segment, we have our guest here, Lindsay Keefe.
Hi, Lindsay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you
And-
for coming over here.
I know, we're so glad that you were able to come because we want to teach our viewers how they can stay fit and do things at home where they don't need to buy a ton of equipment. They don't need to spend any money, essentially. Just maybe just get a mat and get on the floor and get going. You just need some power, some energy to get going. So, Lindsay,
Absolutely.
maybe you can start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Lindsay. I'm based here in Toronto, and I teach private and corporate yoga all over the city. And I've been doing it for about a year. Before that, I was in Kingston, so I was doing some yoga there in some studios. And prior to that, I was living in Hong Kong. I was teaching over
wow.
there. So
So it has always been about yoga, I guess.
yeah, for the last 5 years, it's been all about yoga. I was teaching at an international school, so I was a school teacher when I was in Hong Kong, but that's where I started my yoga practice.
So how did you get into yoga?
That's a good question. I first experienced yoga back in university. I was taking a religious studies course. I can't remember now which one it was, but we had to take a yoga class and end up writing a paper on it. And so I guess that really piqued my interest. And I ended up getting a yoga DVD from my stepmom one year. And so I was kind of practicing that, but it wasn't really enough. And finally, when I was in Hong Kong, I decided, okay, I'm going to get over to the studio. And you know, once I stepped on the mat, I knew that was it. And I knew one day I was going to be teaching yoga. So here I am.
Oh, that's awesome.
So how many hours do you do yoga in a day?
Oh, I used to do at least 1 to 4 hours, maybe more. Now that I'm teaching every day, anywhere between 10 minutes and maybe 2 hours.
Okay. So did you actually go for any special learning for this, or did you take any certificate in yoga? How did it all start with that?
Well, when I started practicing, it started off, you know, every other day. I just loved it. I jumped right in, and then it became an everyday practice. And every opportunity that I had, I took a workshop to, you know, further my knowledge of, you know, what I was doing as a practitioner. And then when I realized I wanted to do the teacher training, it was when I moved back to Canada right after Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
And this amazing teacher, Ian Finn, his brand of yoga is Blissology. I went to Tofino in BC, and it was a 3-week program, so 240 hours. And I did my training there.
So you literally just do yoga for 240 hours?
Yeah, so there was a group of about 20 of us, and we all stayed together in this tiny little beachside town in northern BC. And yeah, we talked about philosophy and anatomy and
That sounds
yoga.
like
Yeah,
fun.
yoga
Sounds
every day,
great.
all day long. It was amazing.
See, did you lose weight?
No.
No.
Some people did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I one of my friends was telling me about hot yoga, and she told me that she lost a lot of weight with hot yoga, and I'm not sure if that really works for everyone.
Not everyone. I know a lot of people have had really positive weight loss experiences doing hot yoga, but I think any type of exercise where you get your heart rate up and you're sweating and working hard. And a lot of other styles of yoga, power yoga or a vinyasa flow where you're moving constantly, you can get the same effects.
Oh, okay. Is there a preferred time to do yoga in the day, during the day, in the morning, in the evening, or at night? Does it make a difference when you do it?
A lot of teachers say, it's best to get up and be active first thing in the morning. But I think it's important to find a time that you're comfortable and that you're ready. So if it's, your lunch hour or when you get home from work and you need some time to de-stress and unwind, some people, it's best for them right before they go to bed. So I wouldn't say there's any particular time that's better than another.
Oh, okay. As long as you have the spirit to do it, because that's what's
Yes.
important, right?
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. Don't get lazy. You have to
That's
move.
what you have to do.
You just
Anytime.
have to- Anytime is good.
Even if it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What time do you prefer for yourself? Just
I'm more of an afternoon or evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm sure with the classes you teach, you must get enough of it that you don't have to do extra yoga on the
For
side.
your own
I don't know,
self,
but
right?
do you do it?
It depends on the class and depends who I'm working with. Sometimes if I'm demonstrating, so I'll do a little bit of practice with a bigger group. One-on-one is a little bit less active for me because I'm working with the person, helping them maximize what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Maryam, do you have more questions for
yes,
Lindsay?
I do. Before I went, you just talked about bigger groups. So how many groups have you done? How big is your group when you teach your yoga?
Well, private classes is typically one-on-one. Sometimes I'll do it with, 2 friends or a couple. And then a private class, it can be anywhere from 3 people up to 20, 30, 40, depending on the space and how many people are there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is it, sorry, I was just
go
gonna
ahead.
is it challenging to do yoga with 20, 30 people versus maybe just private?
It's different. The difference with a larger group is I can't have that one-on-one conversation with every single person. So it's like a group class.
Okay.
I try to get around and help out everyone as much as possible.
That's
And I
very
still offer modifications, so everyone has different options.
Okay.
So moving along with all, as we were talking about the clients, tell us something about one of your clients that you had basically an amazing experience with them.
Okay, well, I can speak to this really well. I have an older client. She's 73. She has a number of health challenges, including lymphoma. And when she started yoga, she was not really sure what it was about her daughter had wanted her to start. And so I meet with her twice a week. And we've been working together now for 8 months. And she's lost over 10 pounds, 4 inches. And she's, improved her strength, her balance, flexibility. She feels great. And she's just so enthusiastic and tries so hard. So it's really...
See, age doesn't matter, time doesn't matter.
No.
Really, nothing matters. You just have to get going. That's what it is,
Absolutely.
right?
Now, why don't you tell us something about a bad client?
You know what? I have never had a bad client.
Really?
That's really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think yoga just brings out the best in everyone. If I had to pick a quality of what a bad student or a bad client might look like, I would probably say someone who maybe cancels a lot and sabotages their own progress.
Oh, okay.
Or who isn't open-minded to trying something different or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you one question. Because I don't do much of exercise, I know I'm talking about being all this, but I try, but because I haven't been regularly doing anything, I find that my bones aren't as flexible. So if you do yoga consistently over a period of time, does that improve with it?
Absolutely. So any type of exercise, if you do it regularly, and the more often you do it, you're going to get results faster. So if you go to the gym and lift weights once a week, you're going to feel so sore the next day. And if you don't come back until a week
it's
later,
not,
you lose everything. So it's the same thing in yoga. If you practice twice a week or 3 times a week or maybe even for a shorter time every day, you're going to see greater results faster. And you'll definitely improve your flexibility, strength, you'll sleep better, you'll feel better, and you'll be happier.
Is it true that when you do work out with all those weightlifting, and when you do yoga to calm yourself down and to stretch a bit more, is it always good to do yoga? Because I remember that in my high school we did that. After we had to do 30 laps together in the hour, the next day we were so sore that our professor told us that why don't we do yoga now?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you're doing a strength training exercise, sports, anything like that, it's great to cross-train with yoga because you get to stretch those muscles that you've been working really hard, and it just gives you an opportunity to relax and calm down and find some softness in your day.
Okay. So why don't you tell us, how do you take out time for your family? Because I know you work so hard, right? So how does that work for you, your family and friends?
Well, I'm really lucky in the position that I'm in right now, doing private and corporate yoga. I'm really in control of my schedule, so I'm able to schedule time off if I need to, and I can be flexible with my clients if we need to reschedule to a different time. And I think what happens is a lot of people, they get so busy with work and we forget what our priorities are. And I think it's so important to be able to take the time to schedule, even if you have to write it in the schedule, say this is the day I'm going to see my parents, or this is the day I'm going to hang out with my friends. Because we forget so often that money becomes more important than memories, and we need to switch that around.
I totally agree with you. I think I'm a culprit of that. I have been a workaholic, and sometimes it's just so hard. Like, you have to do this thing, you know it's work, and it's just so hard sometimes to say, okay, you know what, no, I need to give myself 10 minutes and go out and stretch or take a walk and do any of those things. I had one of those moments today, but I have to tell you, I was strong enough to get off my seat, go and grab a bottle of water. Sometimes even that becomes so difficult. So yes, that's very true.
So why don't you tell us about your services now? How do you charge for them, and is it hourly or is it by class?
Okay, well, we charge by class. On our website, you can find the price charts for private and corporate classes. And if you want to sign up for, I think we have 3, 6, and 12-month packages, you get a discount. So the more classes that you sign up for, the more money that you're going to save. And our packages also include, I think, twice a week, or once a week, twice a week, and 3 times a week. I also do just one-off classes if you want to have, gift a class to somebody for them to try it out. And with the corporate classes, we also offer boardroom, because sometimes we don't have a space to put down a mat, so we can actually do around a boardroom table, sitting on a chair or doing some standing poses behind the chair. Or even just a simple, 30-minute stretch session for...
So you don't always need a mat then?
No, absolutely, you don't always need a mat.
And I'm guessing you can also do it in your work clothes, like your business casual or business formal clothes.
Absolutely.
That you have. Okay, that's really good to know. Well, I mean, you want to quickly tell us about your contact information in case our viewers are interested, where they could reach you?
Sure. I'm with Energy Corporate Yoga, and my contact is Lindsay, so that's LINDSAY, at energycorporateyoga.com.
Okay. Well, this information will be available on our Facebook page, and you should be seeing it at the bottom of the screen as well. Feel free to reach out to Lindsay, because it's very nice that she's here to help us. And I think we'll maybe we'll get right into our techniques, right? You're gonna show us some stuff. Do you have anything for pregnant women?
Pregnant women can practice pretty much the same way as anyone else. As the trimesters go on, obviously, your belly grows, and coming into maybe a forward fold, you hit your leg. So it's important to find a teacher who can offer some modifications. But in terms of, some doctors might say you can't twist or go upside down, and that's not necessarily true. It's really the comfort level of the woman. So it's important to find a yoga teacher that can offer the modifications, and that you can have an ongoing conversation with about what works best for you.
Perfect. So why don't we get started with Lindsay right now? And Lindsay will be showing us some of her techniques.
Great. Hi, I'm Lindsay. Welcome. We're going to do a short yoga session together to help open up tight hips, and everything we're going to do on our back, so we don't need a lot of props. You just need space where you can lie down on a carpeted floor. If you don't have a yoga mat, maybe just grab a towel, and let's get started. Oh, one more thing, I have a cotton yoga strap. If you have a scarf or a belt, you can use that. Otherwise, slowly bring your foot back up to center. Bring the strap into the left hand, right hand palm facing down, and slowly begin to bring your leg across your body. Keep pressing the ball of the foot into the strap. Now here we're going to feel the stretch on our outer right hip. If you're not feeling anything yet, Try sticking your bum back, creating an arch in the low back, and then keep pressing the foot into the strap. Breathe for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. Bring your right hand now to the outside of your knee, drawing it across.
Welcome back to your favorite show, TAGtainment Zindagi Rangon Ki. In this segment, we're going to talk about job hunting. And in job hunting, now we're going to focus more on networking. So why don't we start with this? Hira, why don't you tell more about networking?
Of course. So in this show, we want to help you with all sorts of things that you're facing in your life. So if you're
Before I say anything, sorry Hira, I'm cutting you off, but I really want to let everybody know Hira is actually a consultant of jobs. So you know, the tips that she gives us, they're amazing and they work for everyone. So Hira, go ahead now. Now I want you to say this.
Of course. I do career counseling for new graduates, new immigrants, and anyone who is looking to change careers. And I think with all that I have done myself to do things for myself and my experience and what I have learned around here, I think I can give you all the little tips that will help you get a head start. So you probably want to either look for a new job, you're a new immigrant in Canada, you have all this experience from your own country, but you come here and you struggle finding that first job. There are certain things that you can do to get a head start and set yourself apart from competition. It's really like selling yourself. So when we talk about networking, it's because you want to go and you want to learn, you want to learn techniques that will set you apart from the competition. So, when you buy, I don't know, detergent, what's the first detergent that comes to your mind?
Well, we won't say the name because of the thing, but just we'll say the orange one.
Of course. So it's probably because the brand stands out to you.
Exactly.
That's because that's the first thing you think of, right?
Yes.
And because of that, that's kind of a similar technique you need to use when you're branding yourself. So let's say there's a job opening and the hiring manager is looking for a ton of talented people, but he's only going to hire one. Which one do you think he's going to hire? The one that stands out to him the most,
exactly.
Right? So you need to do those little things that will help you stand out. And as we go through the show and the program, I will give you all sorts of different techniques and all the different things that you can do to actually stand out to the employer. And why don't I start off with asking you, what if you may tell me, is there something that you have done that you got an appreciation for and was actually valued by a hiring manager?
Yes. So I actually did this one technique and I learned a lot from it, and I think this technique has been the most successful technique for me at the moment. Every time I do this technique, I always get hired. So this is one thing that I will say. So what I basically did is I got myself a book where it's just a normal book. I wrapped it around with a nice wrapping paper, so it kind of stands out again, right? And then in that I wrote all my goals that I want, because the first thing when you meet someone, they always ask you, what are your long-term goals? And if you don't know what your long-term goals are, then they know exactly that this person does not know what they're doing in life. That's the first impression.
You need to sound prepared.
Exactly.
That's
you need to sound prepared. You need to make sure that you know that they know that why you're here, and they know why are you going for this job, right? Why are you asking for this job? So what I did is, instead of having different goals, I actually, instead of having a goal for 2020, I wrote all the goals for a year, like year by year. So 2015 I had some goals, 2016 I had some goals. So I made them go through all the goals, and they saw that I have my life plan for about 5 more years from now on. Also, if you see in this book, well, I'm just going to post it over here this way. So these are all the goals over here for year by year. And what I have done is, every time when I go and meet anybody, and in order to make their time, in order to show them that I value their time, what I do is I carry a little stapler in my bag. Right now I have a big stapler, but I always carry a very little stapler in my bag, and it's because I know staplers are very heavy, right? So you just go to one of the nearest stores and try to look if you can find a little stapler, put them in your bag, and what's going to happen is, every time when you meet them, right? So let's say I met Hira today, and I said, "Hi Hira, thank you so much for meeting you." Our whole conversation happened, and I asked you in between, or if in the beginning they gave it to me, then that's perfect. But let's say in between that I asked them that would I be able to have your card, and let's say that they do give you a card. The thing that you're going to do is right in front of them, take your book out, staple their card on the paper. This shows that you do value them, that you're not going to lose their card. Because once you do that, this actually, this will make them remember you, and it's a technique that you actually taught as well.
Of course. And another thing you probably want to do is take notes on the same page. So that's what I do normally. When I have my networking book, I have all these pages with cards stapled on them, and when I speak to them, I take notes on the same page, so I have a record of it. And it's really not just to make an impression, but it's also to keep a track of what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
If you're hunting for a job or changing careers or doing anything, networking is meeting people to learn about their jobs and also to market yourself for an upcoming opportunity. Then what you really want to do is keep a track of it.
Exactly.
If I'm meeting, I don't know, maybe one person every week, I may forget who I met 6 months ago or what we talked about.
Or what was their name? You remembered their face, but you just forgot their name,
exactly.
Their contact information.
So it's very important to keep that information somewhere. It could be an Excel file where you just log everything, or it could be as simple as a notebook, which reminds me, never go to a networking event or never go to meet somebody without a notebook.
Without a notebook and a pen. You
Exactly.
always need you need 2 pens, one for your backup because pens always run out. So you have to take them.
So that's very important. Never go without a notebook. I've had people come and they don't have their notebooks, and I'm telling them stuff, but they are just struggling. Where do I write it?
Exactly.
Because
Because you cannot remember everything that they're saying. So it's always good to actually take notes in front of them. So again, they see that you do value what they're saying, because you want to appreciate their time. Exactly. So I have another tip, Hira, and this is another tip is, when you are actually going in to give in your resume. Okay. So you will notice how people will always email their resume and they think that, the manager got their resume, right? But have you ever thought about it that there are so many people applying for the same job, and all the managers do is they print their resumes out and put them in the corner, and then they look through, whenever they have the time. How do you want to make your resume stand out? And this technique also worked for me, right? So what I did was, when I went to meet the manager that I wanted to speak to for the job that was posted, I first emailed the job, and emailed my resume with my cover letter and told them that I'm interested in applying for this job, and in my cover letter I had all my information. So first they had an email, and they knew that yes, I did send them an email. The second thing that I did is when I went to meet them in person, I took my resume in a colored folder. A colored folder could be any folder, right? It doesn't. Make sure it's not too fancy. You do want to go with a plain folder, but it's something that was going to stand out.
Of course.
So all you do is basically take your folder, and if you're applying for a part-time job, then also make sure you have their schedule, so they're not writing it down on any sticky notes or something. So again, you look prepared. And what happens is, when you go with a color-coded folder, and when they put all these folders together in one corner, all these resumes together in a corner, whose resume is going to stand out?
Of course, your resume with the schedule attached, if it's a part-time job,
Exactly.
Is going to obviously stand out, because it will make things easier for the hiring manager.
Of course,
and that's really
it
what
is.
you want to do. They don't have the time, and a lot of the times they just look for referrals, because really they don't have the time to go through all the job applications, depending on the nature of the position you're applying for. So these little things can really help you stand out. And that's exactly what you want to do.
Exactly.
One last thing I would say before we end the session here, and I just want to emphasize this again. This is just a beginning. This is just a teaser we're giving you. There's a ton of other information that we want to give you so that we can make your job hunting process easier and more effective, so you can actually get some results out of it. So there's a lot more that will come in the later shows, and your feedback obviously is very important for us. But before we end this off, I do want to tell you one thing. If you are inviting somebody for coffee, pay for their coffee.
That's one thing you have to do.
You have to pay for
Keep
their
some
coffee.
keep some cash with you. Don't forget the cash, because sometimes the debit card or your credit card is not working, and that's very embarrassing. It's like, I insist I'm paying for your coffee, but I don't know what to do now.
You have to pay for their coffee. Do not expect them to pay for their coffee, and say, I insist. I called you out. I'm asking for your time. You've taken the time to come out and help me. please let me pay for your coffee. Do not make the mistake of letting them pay for it or pretending like you don't know what to do. You need to be in control of that part of the situation.
So again, they will appreciate it and they'll remember you.
And these were some of the tips for you. And trust me, there's a lot more coming out in future shows. So you have to watch us, give us feedback, stay tuned with us. And hopefully you're enjoying TAGtainment. Zindagi
Zindagi
Rango
Rango
Ki.
Ki.